Hello, everybody, and happy Thursday. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. My name is Lori DeGroot from Lorita Marie Crafts, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Calgary, Alberta. And I love to come live every Thursday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time so that I can share fun tips, techniques, and inspiration with you to encourage you in your creativity and get you using your crafting supplies. If you're ever looking for some more information, you can always check out my website, which is loritamariecrafts.ca. Today, I'm excited. I've got a fun fold card for you, which just means it has like a special way of folding up. And so I'm excited to share that with you. And it is using the super cute and whimsical Santa Express Designer Series paper. So hopefully you guys are all doing well. Again, thank you for watching. And if you're tuning into the replay later on, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. And if I can ever give you a hand with anything, please just send me a message. So I hope that everyone had a good Thanksgiving. We just had Thanksgiving here in Canada last weekend, and we had a really lovely time with our family over for dinner. You know how it goes. You just eat a lot of food. We played games after, which is fun. My kids are a little bit older now, grade 4 and 7, and so yeah, it's just kind of fun to play games and hang out afterwards and stuff like that. And we have been enjoying an incredible fall here in Calgary. I still can't believe like just how beautiful it is here. I like sit on my deck and in the afternoon just to try to like catch the sun. Our deck just in this time of year, it's like perfect. It just catches all the sun. And I can't believe how nice and beautiful it is. So I hope that you guys are having a good fall too, wherever you are. And I just want to take a minute to share about my October class because today's the very last day to sign up. And I'm so excited about this class, and I just don't want you guys to miss out if you haven't heard about it yet. Or if you've been humming and hawing about it, or forget when deadlines are, like all of us do. But today is the very last day. So this is called my October Stamp and Create class. And there's 3 great options. So the first one includes a lot of really cute and amazing product. And it is like some of my favorite things. I love plaid and I love gingham. And I love this paper. So Gingham Cottage paper. You're going to get, what's great about this class is you just get like a perfect sampling of product to use in the class, but a little bit left over to play with as well. So you're going to get some of the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper, some of the really cute black and white gingham ribbon, some cardstock. I always include cardstock so you can go ahead and make more projects. They're always in coordinating colors. So these are the colors for this month. I can show that there. There's always 4 different colors. And then you're going to make 2 really cute cards that come in like little DSP envelopes, and they are fun folds, like simple fun fold cards. And then you get to make 2 treat packages as well with these cute little peekaboo treat bags. So you get all that. If you don't live in Canada and you just want a tutorial, you can buy the tutorial. Or I also have a card kit option, if you didn't know that, where you can make 6 cards for $20. And I send you everything you need, all cut and prepped. Even the ribbon and everything is cut, and you just stamp the sentiment and have fun putting the cards together. So these are the cards, which way do I want to go? This way. These are the cards in the card kit, and they're so much fun. So there's kind of like obviously a Christmassy one, and then this one with the Calypso coral is just meant to be for all occasions, fall, birthday, thank yous, that kind of thing. So I was going to pop the link, but I'll put it in after. I'm going to pop the link in the comments after to my website, which has all the information and an easy register now button that you can fill out the class options that you want. Get that word out. Okay. That's all that chit chat. Let's get to the crafting. So let me just move all this stuff out of the way. And yeah, let's get to our card. So I'm just going to switch over to, there it is. All right. So let's get to our cards today. If you're watching live, why don't you say hi and what's going on for you today? If the weather is nice where you are, hopefully it is. So I wanted to show you first the Designer Series paper that I'm using today. And what I wanted to do is, like, sometimes with the whimsical paper, maybe that's not your first choice. And I just kind of wanted to show you how to extend kind of the life of it beyond maybe Santa Claus. So maybe you're not into Santa Claus and you're like, oh, I don't want Santa Claus paper, but this paper is so cute. You're going to love it. I'm going to convince you. So first of all, there's these 3 patterns, and these 2 have the cute little trains on it that you can cut out and connect or whatever. And they've got Santa Claus. And I love this paper this year because we've got diverse Santas, which I think was so lovely of Stampin' Up! To include that this year. And then you've got this super pretty one with the trees. Hopefully I feel like my coloring is really off today. Sorry if my colors are, don't they seem kind of pinky today? I don't know what's going on. Does that make it better or worse? See what's going on there. And then we've got the presents, and we've got this kind of scene that you can cut into strips. But of course, with Stampin' Up! Paper, you've always got a more subtle option on the back. And so this is really what I wanted to show off today, is that maybe those bold patterns with Santa Claus aren't your thing, but look at, you got this awesome paper to play with. So you've got fun stripes and snowflakes and polka dots in really great colors, shaded spruce, poppy parade, and then mixing with mint macaron and petal pink, and it's so pretty. So I am a sucker for designer series paper, and it's actually one of my favorite things when I get a new when I get an order from Stampin' Up! And I have bought paper and I open it up and I look at all the patterns. No, it doesn't even matter how many times I've seen the paper online or whatever, just having it in your hands and playing with it, I love it. That's my favorite. So the first thing that we're going to do to create our fun fold card is grab a whole sheet of cardstock, and I'm going to be using petal pink today, which is actually one of my favorite colors. And what we're going to do first of all is we're going to score it in half both ways. Okay, so we're going to score it at 4 1/4 on the 8 1/2 inch side, and then we're going to score it at 5 1/2 on the 11 inch side. Okay, so now you've got your 4 rectangles, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so now we want to cut out this bottom left-hand corner. So I'm going to show you how you can do that too with your paper trimmer. So you go back to the 4 1/4, and then you've also got a ruler down the side of your paper trimmer. And so you can go down to 5 1/2. And so you just take a look, and you can kind of go down to where you see the tick for 5 1/2. Okay, and then we're going to go to the 5 1/2 inch mark. And again, now we're going to go down to 4 1/4. And so you should be able to get a pretty precise cut and cut out that piece. And of course, that's a nice piece of cardstock that you can save for later. Okay, ooh, that was noisy, sorry. Okay, so now I'm just going to burnish my folds for a second. So we want this one to fold up. So we're just going to match that, pull that down, and then this one is going to fold over. So this is not fussy or hard. When I try to do fun folds, I tend to keep them pretty simple. It's just like that little extra thing to make your card kind of fun. And so what we're going to do is we want this one that folds up, we want to cut it on an angle. So we need to kind of actually close this up, grab my paper trimmer again, and I'm going to put it in my paper trimmer, and then I'm just going to line up point to point here. And so you just kind of put it in the middle of your track. Cut that off, save that. And then now you can see you're creating what's going to be a little pocket for your card. All right, so now we get to have fun decorating it and getting all our paper together. So what I have chosen is this fun pattern with kind of like little snowflakes, and we're going to cut a piece that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, so that's our first piece that we need for the front. And then you're going to choose another piece of design series paper. And I love this kind of ho-ho-ho one, especially because it's got the mint macaron and petal pink, those soft, playful colors. And so I'm going to cut this to 5 inches by 2 inches. Okay. And then I've got another fun thing to show you for the front. So we are going to use an embossing folder. And so I just need some cardstock for it. And so we're going to cut this to a 6x6 square. And I just quickly wanted to show you this paper trimmer. If you butt right up to this part, like I can't go anymore, that's exactly 6 inches, which is lovely. It makes it so easy to get 6 inches. I don't know. I just love that. So this is mint macaron. And I'm just going to move my paper trimmer out of the way. And we're going to use one of the new 3D embossing folders that is in the July to December mini catalog. And this is called the Whimsical Trees. I looked it up, but I still forgot what it's called. Whimsical Trees, I'm pretty sure. But you can kind of see the pattern on it. Oh, it is so much fun. And it's 3D, which means it's got like an even deeper impression that you can get from it. So we're just going to go ahead and slide our cardstock inside there. And then we need our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So let's just get that set up here. And then you need platform 1 and platform 4. And the machine comes with all the platforms, so you've got everything you need. And then you want to make sure you've got the hinge towards the machine. And so 1 and 4, and that's all you need. And it's going to run through smoothly, and always moves my paper. Sorry about that. Okay, we'll just move that out of the way. Straighten everything out. Like so. Okay. And then we've got this awesome paper. Look at that. So pretty. I love it. I can't wait to use it on more things. This is actually the first time that I've used it. And so you might see more of it. So I did the full 6x6 because why not? And then we are going to cut it in half. Or what you could do, I guess, is cut it in half, and you've got 2 3-inch strips to use on different projects because why not just cut the whole thing out at once? But for this project, I actually only need it to be 2.5 inches. So I'm going to cut it at 2.5, and then I'll save this for sure for another project. And then I need it to be only 5 inches. So let's just trim that off to 5 inches. All right, and then I've got this really cute tree. Look on my card. So let's go ahead and start putting some things on the front of our card. I think I'm going to open it up like this while we decorate the front. So first we're going to put our piece of DSP. And just put that on there. I'm just using my Stampin' Seal. Does anybody have this paper or tried this paper? Or maybe wasn't sure if they liked this paper? I tend to love all the cute whimsical paper. And actually, I'm going to put that on a second. And so I love it all. So I've been waiting to use this. And I love petal pink with mint macaron at Christmas. That is a good color combination. So I actually want to put the trees on first. And so I'm going to put that on. And then I'm going to put the DSP on so that it layers over top. So you just got to eyeball that and line that up. And so then we're going to decorate the top. And I actually kind of want to show you like a no stamping way to do the front. Obviously you could stamp a sentiment and that would be easy, but did you know that this lovely paper also comes with a Memories and More kit, which I have used before. So you get fun pieces of cardstock, you get sticker sheets, you get these really beautiful wood words, and there's even acetate sheets in there. Let's see if I can show you those. Right, so these are all awesome things that you can use in your card making. And so don't be afraid to cut these up. So what I have done is I wanted a different pattern than what was in the DSP. So I've got this little strip here and it was literally just a piece that was left over from another project that I had done. And so that's going to layer up good. And then what I've done is I've grabbed this paper here and I've cut out the trees from it. So whenever there's these big bold pictures on designer series paper, you can, of course, fussy cut them out. So I've got these cute little trees that I'm going to use. And then we're going to get a sentiment as well. And so this is one of the cards. So all the cards have these fun words on them. So there's have a holly jolly Christmas, this most wonderful time of the year, all sorts of great things. So I'm going to use this instead of stamping. So now we're just going to build up our layers. So I'm going to put this little strip on, and this is only, let's see, 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches, but it really can be anything. I think my sample card is actually completely different size. So that's totally fine. And then we're going to put mini dimensionals on the back of our tree. And I'm using minis, just it'll fit in all the little spaces better. If you don't have minis, you can always just cut up your dimensionals in half. That totally works too. So I'm going to grab a few of those. And now we're just going to layer up our little thing here. So I went with the trees because I've got the trees on the back. So then my theme kind of all ties together. So let's put that on. And then we're going to add a little bit of silver twine. So it's about 9 inches-ish. And this pack of silver and gold twine is like essential for your Christmas crafting, I think. Comes with both colors. And I think I'm going to grab a glue dot and I've just kind of folded it up kind of to mimic a bow and put the glue dot in the middle, and then my sentiment is going to sit over top. So I'm going to cut this up. And so I'm just using a paper trimmer, and I'm just eyeballing it because I can you can see through where it's going to cut in the track. So I just want the sentiment. I can save the rest of it for a different project. And then I'm just going to trim up the sides. You could use your paper trimmer too for this part, but I'm just going to use my scissors. All right, and then we're going to just put regular size dimensionals on the back of this. And with all this fun, cute designer series paper, you can create a really fun look on your card. There's that. And then it just needs some shine. And so my favorite gems at the moment, I don't know what your favorite gems are at the moment, but I love these iridescent ones. And so I'm going to put a few of these on just everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. Some here, some up there. Oops. They're so cute. All right, so now we get to do the inside. So it's kind of fun. So the first thing that we're going to do is cut a piece of DSP to put inside our pocket. And so I'm going to use the ho 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 just to create some consistency with our front of our card. Okay, so I want a piece that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I want a piece of this red again that I used on the front. And I'm going to use a piece that is 3 3/4 by 5. And then I'm going to cut this at an angle. So I want to cut it down like this. So we'll just line that up corner to corner again. And then we'll just cut that off. And that's all the cutting that we need to do today. And then I'm going to put this on the inside. Let's see here. Okay, so you get your paper on the inside panel. and then we can close up our little pocket. And so when I close up my little pocket like this, I like to use my tear and tape because I can make sure it goes right to the edge, and I can trim it off here. Just like so. Peel off the backing. And then just line that up and fold it up like this. Okay, so now we need our angled piece that we cut. And so we'll put our seal on there. All right, and then we have that. And so that's creating consistency right with the front of our card. So all the patterns match. You don't want to have too many patterns going on. And then I thought it would be fun to use another one of these cards. So this is where you could tuck, I mean, you could tuck a packet of hot chocolate, your gift card, whatever you want on the inside. And then I thought this would be fun as the spot that you could write your little message to the recipient of this fun card. So let's put that in there. And then I thought, okay, well, we do need to stamp a little bit. So I'm going to stamp a sentiment. And it's obviously you can choose any sentiment that you want. So I'm going to stamp in Poppy Parade, and I'm going to use the Sweet Candy Canes stamp set. And I'm going to use this one here, which says, wishing you, let's see if I find it. Wishing you lots of love, joy, and happiness this Christmas season and always. So I thought that was a good sentiment for this. And then we'll just ink that up. And then this is just a piece of basic white cardstock that I've cut about 3 3/4 by 1 inch. And then if you want, you can cut like the little tail out of it. And if you want an easy way to help you do that, this Pick a Banner's punch is perfect for that. So you can do 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, or a 1/2 inch size. And then you just punch out, and then you get the perfect tag at the end. And then I'll just put a little adhesive there at the end. And I'm going to put it here so it kind of hangs over the pocket. All right, there is our super easy fun fold card that's going to be perfect for Christmas to put a little gift in there for somebody. So I hope you like that and that you'll try that for yourself, and maybe try it with your favorite pattern paper. But oh, that Whimsical, I wish you could, let's see, those trees, they're so cute, right? Okay, I'm going to switch the camera back. All right, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you would love to have all the dimensions and everything for this project, obviously you can take notes while I'm watching, or I send a free PDF every Friday that includes all the dimensions and photos of the projects that I do on this live. And so if you sign up for my newsletter or for my email list, you will get that every single Friday. So that's kind of a fun perk for signing up for my email list. So I'll put a link in there in the comments as well for that. And yeah, if I can ever help you out with anything, just feel free to contact me. And I will be back next week with another fun project, and I can't wait to share it with you. So until then, have a great week and weekend. Bye-bye.